So hello and welcome to a new video. This time I'm playing my league starter, this like animated self, and it's animated weapon of self-reflection. That's a very long name for the skill. And I'm pretty much what I'm doing. I'm reflecting my energy blade, and that gives me a lot of damage, good clear speed. So here's a fair warning before you commit yourself to this build. As much as the build is like relatively cheap, it's lacking in the defense, especially when you get like a physical hit. You will see that there are some monsters like Porcupine who can literally one-shot you if you go with your Leaf Slam too fast. So be warned that the physical damage is actually a problem. Otherwise, when you go to Mirages, your Flask gonna be resetting, so you have to remember, whenever you go to Mirage, you have to press your free Flask again. Otherwise, if you get like a chaos damage and your coruscating elixir is not up, you will die, because that's how I'm protecting myself from chaos damage. Because I'm not going to be updating this build, no, I'm not going to be doing the improvements and nothing like that. So if you grab the PUB, if you want to do some improvements, you're going to have to do it on your own. For me, this build is something that's like a relatively cheap, like below 1 divine, a starter build that I can farm T16, I can farm Harvest and Blights. That's the most two important contents for me, as they generate a lot of currency, even if I'm not doing too much, because Harvest simply just pumps out the life force and you can sell it, and that's relatively couple chaos every single map, and I can play the build that I want, and the build that I want to play is a custom crit. Another problem maybe you don't like, and that's you should actually decide it for yourself. You're gonna be forced to run with this build, run the maps like excavation, like you see on the screen right now. When the blight lanes can only go in the one direction or maybe two directions, this makes the blight encounters very easy. If you go something like Park, even if Park has a little bit better cards, you will get like 4 different lanes in 4 different paths, and that's gonna be very difficult to protect. But if you go like excavation, as you can see, it's like a very relaxing and easy way of doing the blight. So map actually means a lot for blight, so you have to be aware of that. If you don't like maybe those kind of maze type map, maybe the build is not for you, because or you would have to do a different content, and I don't know how good the content would be. I mean, the different content would be on this build. I'm just gonna highlight you everything quickly, because since this is a starter, it's not too complicated. The Brine King, mostly for the stone, you don't necessarily care about the chiller and the other Pantheon powers. I'm just gonna be using this for my next build. The Soul of Abberath, mostly for the Burning Ground, because I'm running the red altar, so kind of thing that you need to have. With the Bandits, I'm having Alira. But if you have too much resistance, you can skip it. I just have it because early on it's very useful to have Alira. With the passive tree, you pretty much go 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's your last one. That gives you a little bit more quality of life. So, about the passives, there's not much to do. The only thing that you want to have later on, you just want to have a brutal restraint for Babala. So you can get the flask charges, and you can sustain those 3 flasks all the time pretty much. You're not looking for any nodes, but I have like some alchemy genius, I have minion damage and dexterity. That helps me out a little bit. So if you don't have dexterity over here, you're probably gonna have to get the dexterity, little bit dexterity for somewhere else. But pretty much the only thing that you need to know is about this, because on this Ascendancy nodes that minions gonna be leeching life. What I'm doing is I'm taking that life leech into energy shield leech, and I'm taking the energy shield mastery, so I'm getting a little bit more leech and the instant leech, and that's what actually keeps me alive quite often. Using coruscating elixir, this is how you're protecting your life from from getting like one shot through with your chaos damage. This is just resistance movement speed. This is just like resistance and cures effect, just to help me out. For your main weapon, you're just looking for any kind of 6-linked weapon that you can use. It cannot be a bow, just any random 6-linked. They generally go between 1 to 10. Between 1 to 2C. because as soon as you play, you use your energy blade, it's just transform into energy blade, sorry. And I'm using minion speed, weapon elemental damage, volatility, animated weapon, multi-strike, and melee splash. I tried to play Witcher with a melee splash with like ruthless and minion damage, but I found having melee splash while I'm doing blights helps me out significantly better than, you know, having a little bit extra damage. You can swap the melee splash with like ruthless if you're doing some kind of like, you know, void stone. When I was doing my two bosses, like the red and the blue ones, I just swapped melee splash with ruthless, and you know, that's it. Then I have a dark monarch. Dark monarch is simply states this: I get double damage, but I cannot have any other minions. For me, that's great, you know. And I have like links like Purity of Elements, Resistance, Energy Blade, and I have Haste. Now there's a free link. You can use Convocations over here, or probably I would have to have something like Enhance to get the Energy Blade, the increase attack speed. But I'm not sure if this is affecting actually the weapon, and does that means that my animated weapon gets the little bit more attack speed. Something I'm not necessarily sure about that. Then the ring is Chevron Revelation, just simply gives you on the left slot, you want to keep it. It gives you a lot of flat energy shield, it gives you good mana regen, and overall it's like a, you know, one of the best rings that you can have on this build. The chest is just a ghost read. Whatever you have, you don't have to have a 5 link, you can only have like a 4 link. You just need this chest because you convert some of the life into energy shield, and then you get like a, you know, bunch of cases and so on. I have like an Arcanist brand, flesh offering, conductivity, elemental weakness. This is how I apply my debuffs, because, you know, I don't want to be doing like a manual casting, so I would just go on the map, randomly pop my brand, and he will do everything for me. But he will, like, you know, drain your mana. That's why I need a lot of like mana regen. Perculto just gives me the, you know, the lucky damage, but the lightning damage against me is like, you know, kind of bad. And I get like a dexterity, movement speed, and, you know, anointment for like the grave pact, so a little bit more extra damage. Another ring is just like stats, energy shield, life, and I have like a non-channeling. This gives me my lip slam is for free, so, you know, that's pretty much why I have it. The Siegebreaker belt is like actually great. I use all of the stats in, you know, and that's like a 1C belt, so, you know, there's no point of not actually buying this belt. And the gloves are pretty much just like life stats, that's it pretty much. And I'm keeping my clarity, discipline linked with arrogance. That's how I'm reserving my life, and I'm getting a little bit, you know, more energy shield and so on. Don't bother yourself with Val discipline. The region doesn't work because of the ghost right that you have and this ring, so, you know, as long as you just have discipline, that's fine. And then you want to have like a single link, flesh and stone, and you want to keep it in the sand stance, which is, you know, gives you a little bit more defense. For the boots, the same thing. There's life, resistance, movement speed, stats, whatever you need. And I have like a low level 1 lip slam, steel skin linked with automation. This gives me a little bit defense, and I have like faster attack for my lip slam. And that's pretty much it for the gear. It's very simple and straightforward. So like what I was saying in the beginning of the video, this character was designed to run Blights and Harvest. And why Blights and Harvest? They can be duplicated in the Mirage, so I'm pretty much, let's call it, double dipping those two contents for free. And I'm running red altars as well. That's how my atlas looks, and you can, you know, copy and see, you know, if you like it. One thing that I would like to notice, I'm not doing the blighted monster spawns faster, as my build is, you know, doesn't have that much of a power to do it, and you can get unlucky, and, you know, you can fail a blight, and that's something that you don't want to do, because you just want to be, you know, getting that currency and, you know, and actually moving into the build that I want to play. If you got this far in the video, thank you for watching, and I will see you later in my next video.